researcher as well as even counselor. Psychology department ಅಲ್ಲಿ MSc ಮಾಡಿ second rank ಅನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು. So she had more than 14 years teaching and research experience, and she published more than 20 articles in various journals, and also not only the even in national and international journals, even she published even Kannada magazines also related to the personality development and other issues.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. I take this opportunity to first thank the Higher Education Council for organizing this lecture series. I personally thank the Vice Chairman present over here. Thank you for the opportunity given, sir. First and foremost, I would like to introduce you towards the topic, the personality development. I welcome all the participants for this session. Personality development is the topic which is widely being researched and widely being seeked out from the students, teachers as well as the academicians community. So we all want to understand ourselves and develop our personality. Usually, the moment we talk about personality development, many of us have an idea of understanding and improving our communication skills, stress management, emotional management, and various other components of personality. Being a psychologist, I would like to present a different viewpoint of the personality development, because we as psychologists, we do not try to cater to only the surface level of changing the traits. We try to focus upon the source traits. So that means the personality of an individual is deep down rooted by various components. Let us explore and understand about the personality development in its the core principles. What is personality? Personality means it's the sum total qualities of an individual. What are the qualities? The qualities which we can observe, certain of it, maybe the physical aspects, the psychological aspect, cognitive aspects, morals, values, all these aspects which are put together can be the total qualities of an individual. It is defined as a collection of traits that can predict a person's behavior in a given situation. This definition is given by R.B. Kettle, the psychologist, who puts forward the personality traits theory. It is also defined as personality is that which permits a prediction of what a person will do in a given situation. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡುಬರುವಂತಹ ಸಮಗ್ರ ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಸಮಗ್ರತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಅನೇಕ ಗುಣಕಾರಕಗಳನ್ನ ಒಟ್ಟುಗೂಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವರ್ತನೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದನ್ನ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ we come across different aspects. To divide it in a simple categorization, we can categorize it into the biogenic, sociogenic and indigenic. Biogenic means certain aspects which are determined by the biological aspects like our nervous system functioning, brain and its mechanisms, and the physical aspects like height, weight, and the body mechanisms. All these come under the physical aspects or biogenic aspects. Then we can understand about sociogenic aspects. In sociogenic aspects, we come across society, environment. Environment ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪರಿಸರ, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಆಂತರಿಕ ಪರಿಸರ. ಒಂದು ಮಗು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಾಗಿನಿಂದ ತಾನು ಬೆಳೆದು ಬರುವಂತಹ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನು ಏನು ಕಾಣ್ತೀನಿ, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ಪರಿಸರದ ಸಮಗ್ರ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದಾಗುತ್ತೆ. There is a high impact of the society upon the development and growth of an individual, and also the personality development, character development as such. So social impact is highly upon the personality development. Then if we move on further, we can understand about the individual aspect. Individual aspect or indigenic habits. Indigenic aspects like the habits, attitudes, thinking, values, morals, mode of adjustment, belief system of an individual and knowledge aspect. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ತಾನು ರೂಢಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಹವ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಆತನ ವರ್ತನೆಯನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ವಿಚಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೋಭಾವಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಧಾರಿತವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಮನೋಭಾವಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆಗಳಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಸಮಗ್ರವಾದ ರೂಪವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ದ ವೇ ವಿ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅವರ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ಸ್. ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಅನನ್ಯತೆಯ ಪ್ರತಿರೂಪವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಒಂದು ಮೆರುಗನ್ನು ನೀಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾರಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್. ಚಿಕ್ಕಂದಿನಿಂದ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ನೈತಿಕತೆಗಳನ್ನ ರೂಢಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ಒಂದು ನೈತಿಕತೆ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಅನನ್ಯತೆಯಿಂದ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಕಾರಣವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಮೋಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಅಂದರೆ ಸಮಾಯೋಜನೆ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಸಮಾಯೋಜನೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದ್ತೀವಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ಇತರರೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ಪರಿಸರದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಸಮಾಜದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಸಮಾಯೋಜನೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಹೌ ವಿ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್, ವೆದರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ accepting ourselves, our limitations, our weakness, our strengths, and all these aspects are very much important. All these are very much influenced by the belief system what we have about ourselves and the society around us and upon our capabilities also. Belief system plays a very important role in the personality. ಹಾಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ the supporting foundation is the knowledge what we have. Knowledge plays a very important role in establishing the personality or the impression upon an individual. So knowledge system ಅಥವಾ knowledge ಅಂತ ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇದು ಕಾಗ್ನಿಟಿವ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಂಜ್ಞಾನಾತ್ಮಕ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳ ಒಂದು ಸಮಗ್ರ ಸಂಕೀರ್ಣವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So it's the complete package of all our learning, memory, our thinking, reasoning, all these aspects comes under this knowledge aspect. If we move on further, the very pioneer in the understanding about personality, Ising, so a psychologist, he defines personality as more or less stable and enduring organization of a person's character. ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಸ್ಥಿರವಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಮಗ್ರತೆಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಕ್ರಮಬದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ಅಂತ ಇವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಟೆಂಪರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್, physique, all these aspects are put together. So all these put together constitutes the personality. Being a psychologist, I would focus more upon the aspects of character, personality, character, traits, temperament, intellect. So these aspects I would be covering in this program. So personality development, it's what do we mean by personality development? Where do we develop personality? Can it be developed at any age, or is there any stagnation for the development of personality? The answer is we can develop our personality from the time we understand about it until the day we survive. It is an ongoing process of intentional and conscious efforts to improve one's personality. Intentional ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ವಿವೇಚನಾಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅವರ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ, we can enhance our personality, we can develop our personality. When can we develop our personality? When we realize, the day we realize that I need to change. So we can change only if we change our thoughts. The moment we understand, we perceive that I need to change, that would be the first step for the change. So if we change our thoughts, our feelings can change. If our feelings will change, our actions can change. As a result, our behavior will change. So the behavior what we show to others or to the society is a result of our thoughts, feelings and actions put together. So let us understand how we can go in a systematic manner to change this personality. before understanding how to change, let us also understand the importance of personality development. Personality development, the moment we talk about personality development, the participants over here today, the research scholars, students, academicians and the teaching fraternity, all of us being in the adult stage, we always, by this time we have already developed a certain personality. Can we change at this point of moment? Yes, we can, because life is a process of learning and learning is an ongoing process. Learning is a continuous process. So learning never stops. Until the day we are alive, we can learn. So what do we learn? We learn whatever is useful for our life. So many times we understand and we realize that what we have learned is not serving us. The moment we realize it is not serving, it is the step or the stage to unlearn those activities. So let us unlearn the one which is not contributing for our development of the personality, for our character, for our profession, for our career or for our well-being. So if we unlearn those and then substitute it with the new habits, new thoughts, new actions, then we can relearn the new things. So we can, it's important to understand the process of learning, unlearning and relearning. So personality development, the importance of personality development is it helps in our personal growth, it helps in the professional growth and also for the adjustment. The adjustment towards oneself, the adjustment towards outside world, the adjustment to the society, educational adjustment, occasional adjustment or adjustment at the workplace or at the family level. For every individual, whichever aspect, wherever they are standing in this moment of the life, everybody can have a moment to decide for the personality development. Why? Because it contributes to the social growth and it helps you in identification. It helps you to achieve an overall success in the life. It enhances the quality of the life. Personality development helps in realization of our dreams, aspirations and it helps to achieve our goals. So that's the reason why we are here today, to understand the personality. See, you have an image in front of you right now. There is towards the left side, there is a tree with the shaded, faded leaves. Every year when we look at the springtime, ವಸಂತ ಋತುವಿನ ಆಗಮನಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುನ್ನ ತನ್ನ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಮರ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆದು ನಿಂತಿರುವಂಥ ಮರ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ತನಗೆ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರೋಂತಹ, ತನಗೆ ಉಪಯುಕ್ತವಲ್ಲದಂತಹ ಎಲೆಗಳನ್ನ ತಾನೇ ಉದುರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಹೊಸ ವಸಂತ ಋತು ಆಗಮನದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹೊಸ ಎಲೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಚಿಗುರುವಂದ ಒಂದು ಹುಮ್ಮಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಅದು ತರುತ್ತೆ. So in looking at the nature, we can realize if a tree can remove the unwanted leaves by itself, it can generate a new leaves, new fresh leaves and flowers, and it can create a new atmosphere for itself as towards to the external world. Then why can't we realize that the habits which are not serving us, the thoughts which are not serving us, the intentions or the way what we are behaving, if they are not serving our personality, then why should we keep on continuing with it? Let us shed the leaves of the habits, the negative thoughts, the negative habits, the way we behave in the way which is affecting us in a negative manner. Let us shed those unserving habits and the thoughts and let us cultivate new thoughts, positive actions which can help us achieve success in our life and also bring the beautiful spring in our life also. So this is the reason for the development of the personality. See, change is the only constant thing in the world, but change is difficult. Change is many times painful also. If we look at the environment, we can have, as majority of you must be aware of the life cycle of an eagle, which is the one which has a very sharp eyes and which is the very strongest in the bird species. If you look at that one, it is having a lifespan of 70 years. That eagle, when it comes to the age of 40, the the eagle's beak, it gets toned off because of its usage over the years. So a process starts, a decision, it's a stage of life stage where the eagle has to, either it cannot eat the food or consume food because it is obviously it is a predator and it is eating upon other animals, so it needs a strong beak for its food consumption and survival. So if the beak is not serving, obviously it cannot eat its food and it cannot survive without food. So it has a decision making where it can live its life, or to live the life it has to change. So the eagle take up the decision of surviving. To survive, it changes. What does it do? It goes to the highest peak or the highest mountain, starts rubbing its beak upon the stone or the mountain, and the beak falls off. Once the beak falls off, the new beak emerges, and then the eagle starts plucking its own feathers, because those feathers which served it for 40 years are not helpful right now. So it removes its own feathers. So here it is a painful process where the eagle goes through. But after this, the eagle soars up above, high in the sky, and it reaches, this is a regeneration, a new beginning of a new life. So it's never too late to start the development of the personality. When we look at the environment, whether it is trees or the birds or different species, it is trying to make a change in its own life for the survival. And in this world, the person or an individual who can think of change, who can change oneself according to the requirement of the life, only can survive. Darwin's theory says so, survival for the fittest. So if we want to survive in this competitive world, obviously we need to keep up with the trend, we need to keep up with the ongoing lifestyles and ongoing changes, and for that changes we need to adapt to the changes. So if we have to survive, we have to start with the process of the change, and that change has to start from within. No change starts from outside, that because the change is the only constant thing in this world, it is the only permanent thing. According to Abraham Maslow, one of the psychologists from the humanistic perspective, he gives a statement: in any given moment we have two options, to step forward into the growth or to step back into safety. See, here two concepts I am speaking about. One is growth. If you take a decision of changing yourself, you are moving into the direction of the growth. If you want to stay in the comfort zone is wherever you are right now, or whichever is making you feel comfortable without any change. So that keeps you safer, but that does not lead you to the growth or achievement. So according to Abraham Maslow, in any given point of time, the two options, and the best option would be always to move forward into the growth. So that growth can happen only when you start thinking about the change. The change, the things which can be changed, because you can change. So if you can think you can change, obviously you can change. And if you move away from the comfort zone and if you make up a decision, you can change. How do we change? Because not all people are ready to change. Let us understand a concept called mindset. Carol Dweck, a psychologist, she puts forward the concept of mindset, where she emphasizes that mindset is a person's mental state or attitude that's made up of our beliefs, values and feelings. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎದುರಾಗುವಂಥ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಬದಲಾಗುತ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. When we look at people, we find two different or two categories of the mindset people. That is one category who are having fixed mindset. Fixed mindset ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ಧಾರಿತವಾದಂತಹ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗೆ ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯವಧಾನವಾಗಲಿ, ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗೆ ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ತೆರೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಮುಕ್ತ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So if you want to develop, if you want to change, then obviously we should have growth mindset. Let me make it clear what these differences are. So let us understand the components of fixed mindset. Fixed mindset ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈ ಎಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಸೋಲು ಗೆಲುವು ಅವಿಭಾಜ್ಯ ಅಂಗ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಸೋಲು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ, ಆದರೆ ಆ ಸೋಲನ್ನು ಕಡೆ ಅಂತ ಭಾವಿಸಬಾರ್ದು. ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ದ ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್. Failure is the stepping stone for success. Every successful person overcomes their own failures. So that means if you want to move on from the failure, you have to have a growth mindset of understanding that failure is not the stopping stone, it is an opportunity to grow. So looking at the failure as a stumbling block would be fixed mindset. Looking at the failure as an opportunity would be the growth mindset. In fixed mindset, the individuals think that I am either good or I am not. ನಾನೇನಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇಷ್ಟೇ, ನನ್ನ ಕೈಲಿ ಏನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಇಷ್ಟೇ, ನನ್ನ ಕೈಲಾದರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಫಿಕ್ಸಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣ. ಆದರೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್, ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಮುಖ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣ ಏನಂತಂದರೆ, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್, ಆಸ್ ಐ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ challenge that if I don't know something, let me learn it. Let me learn the way how to go about it. So they learn to do anything and they are open to new learning. So they have the broader viewpoint and broader mindset in understanding and accepting new things and changing oneself. So fixed mindset people, they always tell that I don't like to be challenged. I don't want, because I want to stay in the comfort zone. I don't want to be challenged. I cannot face challenges. But whereas growth mindset people will challenge themselves because they accept challenges as a stage or an opportunity to help them grow. So when somebody comments about them, they do not look at the emotional reaction to that. They would look at in the cognitive level. Cognitive level ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಆತನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ವಿಚಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಕೊರತೆ ಯಾವ ಕೊರತೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಈ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಈ ತರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ they would not brood upon it. So growth mindset people take challenges. Then moving on further, fixed mindset people are jealous about success of others. ಸೊ ಇತರರ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ, ಇತರರ ಯಶಸ್ಸನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಫಿಕ್ಸಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಅಸೂಯೆಗೆ ಒಳಗಾಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅಸೂಯೆ ಒಂದು ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದಂಥ ಸಂವೇಗ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಭಾವಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪುಟ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ದಟ್ jealousy can be looked in as a positive emotion also. You may ask how? Because if you are jealous about someone, you are jealous because you will realize that I am jealous because the another person is having a degree or an award which I may not have. That means ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದಂಥ, ನನಗೆ ಸಿಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದಂಥ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಆತನ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಸೂಯೆ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಅದು ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದ ಸಂವೇಗ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಆತನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಾನ ಮಾನ, ಒಂದು ಗೌರವವಾದಂಥ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಒಂದು ಯಶಸ್ಸು ಆತನಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಿದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ jealousy can be viewed as a positive motivator also. Jealousy can serve as a positive motivator or a positive emotion also in one's own personality development. So jealousy need not be looked in a negative manner. It can help you motivate oneself. If that person has achieved that one, why not me? Let me take it also as a challenge and let me get inspired by another person's success. ಇತರರ ಯಶಸ್ಸನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಅಸೂಯೆ ಪಡುವುದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಇತರರ ಯಶಸ್ಸನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಾಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿ ರೂಢಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, that we call it as a growth mindset. So apart from this one, as I already mentioned that if we can shed our old habits, old thoughts or unserving thoughts, then we can move on further in life. So fixed mindset people always find comfortable in sticking on to the old habits and old methods, whereas growth mindset people always try new things, they always try to explore new things. So this is growth mindset. If we want to change our personality, if we want to move up in the life of the ladder, if we want to face challenges and come out with a successful life, then obviously we should have growth mindset, not fixed mindset. Let us understand what psychologists tell about personality. What are the different ways personality can be understood as? Looking at the father of the psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud ಅವರು ಮನೋವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಣಾ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತವನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿಪಾದಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಹೇಳೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅವರ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಟ್ or an combination of these three components which I am going to mention right now: id, ego and superego. ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಏನು ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಇದ್, ಅಹಂ ಮತ್ತು ಮಹದಹಂ ಅಂತ ಇದನ್ನ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್, ಈಗೋ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಈಗೋ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್. Let me give it with an example. If, for example, in a classroom, a student is sitting in the classroom and he or she feels like pinching the person next sitting to them. Okay, if id is dominant at that point of the moment, the student, without thinking about the consequences, he or she will pinch the next person sitting to them. ಇದೇನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ತನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಸುತ್ತೆ. So it is based on pleasure principle. Immediate gratification of our wishes and desires is the way it works. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಈಗೋ, ಅಹಂ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಈಗೋ is based on reality principle. Let us, if we look at the same example, the student who thinks a thought comes to the mind, I should pinch the person sitting next to me. The student will think that, okay, if I pinch right now, the friend is going to scream and the teacher is going to notice it. I should not do it right now. Let the teacher turn towards that side when he or she is writing on the board. That time I will do. So here, an individual, if that point of the moment ego is dominant, then they will look at the reality. ವಾಸ್ತವಿಕ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಅರಿವಿನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಆಸೆಗಳು ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷೆಗಳನ್ನ ಪೂರೈಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಹಂ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಇದನ್ನ ವಾಸ್ತವಿಕ ತತ್ವದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಧಾರಿತವಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಸೂಪರ್ ಈಗೋ, ಮಹದಹಂ ಹೇಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್, ನೈತಿಕತೆಯ ತತ್ವದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ತನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್, if a student, the moment that thought comes, I have to pinch to the next student, the student thinks, okay, if I pinch to the student sitting next to me, he or she will feel the pain, and that because of that pain they will feel hurt, so I am not supposed to hurt that person. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ತಲೆಗೆ ಥಾಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆದರೆ the moment the student thinks about it, he or she will decide, no, it's not right, I am not going to hurt another person. Super ego is like a morality guide. ನೈತಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಅರಿವಿನ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ the thought is suspended. No, I am not supposed to do because I am going to hurt. So it is based upon morality, values and morals. So superego is based upon morality principle. So according to this one, every individual is having id, ego and superego. But which is good, id, ego or superego? Actually, to be speaking, we have to look at the situation, our environment and context, and depending upon that we have to see which one is right. If id is highly dominant in the individual may behave in a childish manner. If ego is dominant, he or she will be little boring. If they will not may have so much of enjoyment. But if superego is highly dominant, they will be very much moralistic in nature. So which is right then? A combination of all these things, depending upon the situation, would be a very good way of behaving in the reality. So this we need to understand. According to Sigmund Freud, these are the ones which are very much important in shaping our personality. So let us understand about different types of personality present over here. ಈಗ ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಥ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ even the teaching fraternity, academicians, whoever is listening to this talk right now, if you look at yourself, you may categorize yourself into introvert or extrovert. What do we mean by introvert or extrovert? Carl Jung, the psychologist, gives the classification of introverts and extroverts. Introverts ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತರ್ಮುಖಿಗಳು. ಯಾವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ತನ್ನೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಮಯವನ್ನ ತನ್ನೊಳಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ತೆರೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಆತನನ್ನ ಇಂಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ. An individual who is more towards one's own self. The qualities of introverts are they are having less number of friends, they want to stay silent, they prefer to be alone rather than mingling with the friends and social acquaintances. They would prefer reading books, sitting alone and listening to music. They would involve themselves in solitary activities. They do not like to change things so much, so they prefer things which they are familiar with. And what are the qualities of extroverts? Exactly opposite of introverts. Extrovert is a person who is more towards external society or external stimulations. Excuse me. Extroverts are the individuals who wants to be always with the people. They feel comfortable sharing with the people. They talk very much. They have more number of friends. They have a wide range of interest and taste, and because of this one, they are more of explorers. They want new things, adventurous, and they like talking to people. They are very talkative in nature. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಇವೆರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ? ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಈ ಟಾಕ್ನನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಅಂತ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬೋದು, ನೋ, ಐ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್. ಅಂತರ್ಮುಖಿಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುಣಗಳು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬಹಿರ್ಮುಖಿಯ ಗುಣಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಂಬಿವರ್ಟ್. ಆಂಬಿವರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಉಭಯಮುಖಿ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್. In our real life, majority of us come under the ambivert because this is one which is going to serve us. Apart from this one, there are typical introverts and extroverts also. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು ಸರಿ ಯಾವುದು ತಪ್ಪು? ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆರ್ ರಾಂಗ್. ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್, ಎವ್ರಿ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಯುನೀಕ್. ಅನನ್ಯತೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯು ತನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಆದ ತನ್ನದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅನನ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಸಹ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯನೇ. ಸೊ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆರ್ ರಾಂಗ್. ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಈಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇನ್ ದರ್ ಓನ್ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಥರದ ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು? ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅವರ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ, ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ qualities we have to change? Let us understand that by the qualities or the traits. ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಥಿಯರಿನ ಪ್ರತಿಪಾದಿಸಿರುವಂಥ ಆರ್.ಬಿ. ಕೆಟೆಲ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಸ್ಟ್, he puts forward surface traits and source traits. Surface traits are those traits which can be directly observable, which can be directly understood, which are exhibited by our behavior. For example, altruistic behavior, pro-social behavior. Pro-social behavior ಅಂದರೆ ಸಮಾಜ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ, ಇತರರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇತರರಿಗೆ ನೆರವಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯಹಸ್ತ ಚಾಚೋದು, ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಬಾಹ್ಯ ವರ್ತನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ವರ್ತನೆ ಹೀಗಿದ್ರೆ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್, ಆ ಮೂಲ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? The individual who is exhibiting surface trait as a pro-social behavior, in the source trait, so the trait will be unselfishness. They are not greedy, they are thoughtful in nature, they are sharing. That means source traits are the reason which are in-depth, deep down traits. Because there are certain source traits like this, surface traits will be exhibited. So source traits ಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. We need to change the source traits. Once we change the source traits, then our surface traits will automatically change. Moving on further, we have some more categories of the traits. So what are those traits? I want to emphasize this particular trait called as cardinal traits. Cardinal traits anta heltivi. A cardinal trait is one that dominates your entire personality and hence your life. And this is the trait upon which an individual can be highlighted or individual is being identified. So cardinal traits antandre yav taradandre, for example, altruism. If you look at Mother Teresa was known for her service, and till today she is being identified by her service. The service attitude or the altruism made the whole personality being reflected or being identified only because of that one. In the same way, Mahatma Gandhi, the moment the name comes, he stands for the trait called as truth. So ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಇಂದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನೇ ಡಾಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡಿನಲ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್. These are the traits which are the building blocks of the personality for the identification of the individual. If an individual's life stands or rotates upon that particular traits, then that trait is the one which can give a complete identification for the individual. Moving on further, we have one more category of the trait which we called as unique traits. ಅನನ್ಯತೆಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಈ ಗುಣಕಾರಕಗಳು ಅಂತವೆ. Unique traits are those traits which are shared by few people or no other people. Sometimes unique traits or the traits because of which you are identified. ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಗುಣಗಳು ಬೇರೆಯವರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಲವರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾಗಿದೆ. ಆ ಗುಣಗಳು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಆಸಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಮನೋಭಾವದಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಲೋಚನೆಯಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಚಾರದಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಗುಣಗಳ ಒಂದು ಸಮಗ್ರ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನ ಅನನ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಅನನ್ಯತೆಯೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಿಂತ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಇದನ್ನ ಯುನೀಕ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅವರ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದೋಸ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್. Moving on further, we have psychosocial development theory ಅಂತ ಎರಿಕ್ ಎರಿಕ್ಸನ್ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ಮನೋವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ನಾವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ನಾವು ಜೀವಂತವಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಕೊನೆ ಗಳಿಗೆವರೆಗೂ ಸಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಹಂತದಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ, ಒಂದು ಟಾಸ್ಕ್, ಒಂದು ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರ ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ. ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಇನ್ ದ beginning stages of the infancy, the child develops trust. ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಮಗುವಿನ ಬಾಲ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದು ಮಗುತನದ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಮಗುತನದ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಳಿಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್, ಅಪನಂಬಿಕೆ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ 18 months ಇಂದ 3 years ವರೆಗೆ ಆಟೋನಮಿ ಆರ್ ಶೇಮ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಗಿಲ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಆಟೋನಮಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರತೆ ಮೂಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಶೇಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗಿಲ್ಟ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಕಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ 3 to 5 years ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಗಿಲ್ಟ್. ಒಂದು ಮಗು 3 ರಿಂದ 5 ವರ್ಷದವರೆಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ದ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್, ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ, ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ತನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ತಾನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ, ದಟ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್. 5 to 13 years, industry versus inferiority. Industry means the productive ability or the ability which brings competency. ಹಾಗೆ 13 to 21 years, the individual tries to create an identity for oneself. Identity in the life, identity in the education, identity in the profession, identity in the career, and also identity in the real life, in their personal, social and emotional life also. 21 to 39 years, intimacy versus isolation. That is, intimacy is formed where they develop bond with the life partner or with the friends, intimate friends, or with the social group. All these activities we can look at. Moving on to the 40 to 65 years, an age of middle age where generativity versus stagnation. I am focusing over this particular age group, generativity. That we spoke about change, we spoke about productivity, we spoke about stagnation. Generativity ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ 40 to 65 years ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ತನ್ನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಹಂತದವರೆಗೆ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಸರ್ವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎದುರಾಗುವಂಥ ಅನೇಕ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸತನವನ್ನು ಬೇಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಆ ಹೊಸ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದರೆ ದೆ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್, ಮೇಕ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಮಾಡಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್, ಮೇಕ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟಿಂಗ್ their skills, potentialities, abilities and all the relevant changes in all spheres of life. All spheres of life include personal, professional, career, emotional, social, all areas. Once they do that, then only they can be successful. Otherwise, they will become stagnants. Stagnancy ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಿರವಾಗಿ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಸ್ಥಿರತೆ ಕಂಫರ್ಟ್ ಝೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿದಷ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಫೋಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್. ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಫರ್ದರ್, ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಿಟಿ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪೇರ್, ವಿಚ್ ಇನ್ ಎರಿಕ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿ he call it as integrity, that understanding and accumulating of all the knowledge, all the personality qualities which is going to help the individual in facing the life challenges. So if these are the thoughts from the psychologist and the personality theorist, and then how do we put forward it into the practical situation? Practical situation ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಈಗ ಇರುವಂಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು? ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಇಂಟ್ರೋಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಓನ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಒಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಅಂತರಾವಲೋಕನ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್. ನನ್ನೊಳಗಿರುವಂಥ ವಿಚಾರಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ನನ್ನೊಳಗಿರುವಂಥ ಗುಣಗಳು ಯಾವುದು ನನಗೆ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವುದು ನನಗೆ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಆರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಮೆನಿ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಆರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್. I have a list of traits over here. For example, negative traits ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಈ ಲಿಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಇನ್ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅದರ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಹ್ಯುಮ್ಯಾನಿಟಿ, ಮಾನವೀಯತೆ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಶೋಭೆ ತರುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾನವೀಯ ಗುಣಗಳು, ಮಾನವೀಯ ವರ್ತನೆಗಳು. ಯಾವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಮಾನವೀಯ ವರ್ತನೆಯನ್ನು ತೋರ್ತಾನೋ ಆತ ಅಥವಾ ಆಕೆ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೌರವಿಸಲ್ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಈ ಮಾನವೀಯ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನಮ್ಮದಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ if we have any negative traits, identify those traits and overcome those traits and turn it into the positive traits. So if it is humanity, that is ಮಾನವೀಯ ಗುಣಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಮೇರು ಪರ್ವತದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಆತನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಎತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳೋದು ಕುವೆಂಪು ಅವರವರು ವಿಶ್ವಮಾನವರಾಗಿ ಅಂತ, ವಿಶ್ವಮಾನವರಾಗಿ ಆ ಗುಣವನ್ನು ರೂಢಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗೆ ಲೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್, ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎನ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್. ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ದೋಸ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್. Once in a while, some individuals may exhibit certain qualities, but that is not the limitation. So we can understand that we can move towards the truth. In the same manner, we can focus upon the honest exhibiting of our own qualities and the talents. Trust, ನಂಬಿಕೆ ನನ್ನೊಳಗೆ ನನಗೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾನು ಇತರರು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನಂಬುವ ಹಾಗೆ, ನಂಬಲು ಅರ್ಹರಾಗುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಅ ರೀಸನ್ ಟು ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್. ಇತರರನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ದೂಷಿಸುವುದು, ಆರೋಪಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅನೇಕ ಸರಿ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ rather than finding an opportunity to criticize others, let's find an opportunity to compliment others. Compliment on their success, compliment upon their good activities, compliment upon their achievement, compliment a child for its good behavior, compliment a colleague for their good behavior, compliment a student for their good performance. Let's find occasions and opportunities to compliment others. So this complimenting will not only help the individual identify their good behavior, but also makes you as a positive trait person. Moving on to the very important aspect, as a psychologist, I would emphasize this one. We all suffer, or majority of us all suffer from inferiority complex at one or the other stage of the life. What is inferiority complex? ಕೀಳರಿಮೆ ಮನೋಭಾವ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಸೂಕ್ತ ಅನ್ಸಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರದ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿರಬಹುದು. ಕಾಗ್ನಿಟಿವ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಸ್ವೀಕೃತವಲ್ಲದಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಕೀಳರಿಮೆಯನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಡಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಅಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ? ನೋ, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಅಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಫೀರಿಯಾರಿಟಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ does know that they are having certain lacuna or they are having certain deficiency. If we can focus on overcoming that one, let's take an example of stage fright. ಒಂದು 4 ಜನರ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತು ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, we can help the individual, a student, to overcome the stage fear. Once you help the student to overcome the stage fear and make them perform in front of a small group or a larger group by slowly, we call it as a psychotherapy. We can give different kinds of therapies for that one, and by helping them overcoming that one, the individual will become confident. Once you overcome your own inferiority complex, you will be the most confident person in and around yourself. So confidence comes only when we overcome our own inferiority complexes. Moving on to the very important behavior which we find in society, a huge amount of it right now, is a narcissistic behavior. ತನ್ನನ್ನು ತಾನೇ ಹೊಗಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ತನ್ನ ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೊಗಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಇದು ಸಹಜ. ಆದರೆ ಟು ಸಚ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಿಂಗ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್. ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನಾನು ಶ್ಲಾಘಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ನಾರ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಇರೋಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ತನ್ನನ್ನು ಶ್ಲಾಘಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇತರರನ್ನ ಕೀಳು ಇತರರನ್ನ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಥ ವರ್ತನೆ ನಾವು ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೇಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಓವರ್ಕಮ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಎ ಈಕೋಯಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್. ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆತನವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗುರುತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಇತರರಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಒಳ್ಳೆತನವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗುರುತಿಸುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ವರ್ತನೆಯನ್ನು ರೂಢಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಈಕೋಯಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಘಾತುಕವಾಗುವಂಥ, ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾನಿಯನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ವರ್ತನೆಯನ್ನು ಆಂಟಿ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾದಂತಹ ಸಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದದ್ದಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೋ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್, ಸಮಾಜ ಪರವರ್ತನೆ. ಸೊ ಸಮಾಜ ಪರವರ್ತನೆಗಳು ಅನೇಕ ಇದೆ. ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಹಾಯ ಹಸ್ತ ಚಾಚೋದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಥ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ರೂಢಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಆಕೆಯ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂದು ಅಂದರೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಒನ್, ವೇರ್ ಆಸ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಒನ್. ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅವಲಂಬಿತನ, ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರತೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರತೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ತನ್ನ ಸಾಧನೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ತನ್ನ ಆಲೋಚನೆ, ತನ್ನ ವಿಚಾರಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ನಾನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಆ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಆ ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇದ್ದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆತ ಅಥವಾ ಆಕೆ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಬಲ್ಲರು. ಅವಲಂಬಿತನ ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೀಳರಿಮೆ ಮನೋಭಾವ ಇದ್ದ ಕಡೆ ಅವಲಂಬಿತನ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದರೆ ಅನೇಕ ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕ ಗುಣಗಳು ಏನಿದೆ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಒಂದೊಂದಾಗಿ ತೆಗೆದು ನಿವಾರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋದರೆ, ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಒನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ we focus upon overcoming these negative traits, we can develop a positive trait full of personality, whether it be honesty, organized behavior, being organized in our activities, being organized in our study plan as a student, being organized as an academician in doing our activities, academic activities, being organized as a teacher in covering our academic routines or academic activities and pursuits. All these helps us in being more organized, and organization or organized behavior makes you more confident because you will learn to manage your time in a very good manner. All these qualities will be enhanced only when you have some humor in yourself. ಹಾಸ್ಯ ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಹಾಸ್ಯ ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿ ಎಂಥ ಒಂದು ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶವನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿನ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಈ ಹ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ತಪ್ಪನ್ನೂ ಸಹ ಹಾಸ್ಯಾಸ್ಪದವಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿ ನೋಡೋದನ್ನು ತಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ. Moving on further, we have lots of other qualities. I would emphasize two important qualities here. One is ignorance. Many people think that ignorance is a bliss. Wrong. Ignorance is not a bliss. We know that if we are ignorant, we are going to lose lots of opportunities, and that would be a stumbling block in our achievement. So rather than staying ignorant, let's become knowledgeable. Let's explore the area of knowledge. Let's understand there are lots of things in this world to learn. Every day is a learning experience. Every situation is a learning experience. Who can be our teacher? Everybody is our teacher. The nature teaches, our surrounding people teachers, our own children can teach us lots of things. So everywhere find an opportunity to learn, and that learning will make you knowledgeable. Be a person who is always having a thirst towards knowledge. So this knowledgeable activity would be a positive trait. Hage, as a psychologist, I would like to emphasize the quality of assertiveness. Assertiveness andre druda vartane. Lack of assertiveness is a negative trait, and because of lack of assertiveness, you will have to face lots of problems. To overcome that one, we need to develop assertiveness. we have to develop rational thinking, logical thinking, secure feeling within ourselves, and being responsible for our activities, being active in all the situations, and very important emotional quality, being empathetic. ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಇತರರು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಮನೋಭಾವ, and understanding ourselves and our emotions and paying importance to others also is very important. So why are all these qualities important? So why this personality development is important? So because all these change from the negative traits to the positive traits is important, because these are the ones which are the major traits for your success. The success in your life, the success in your profession, the success in your academic achievement. For this you have to take up responsibility. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ personal responsibility towards your thoughts, feelings, actions and education, which is very important, which is the foundation, which is the core of your personal behavior. So that is very much important. So this is your personal responsibility, because you are important not only for yourself, you are important as an individual for the society. So focus on yourself and take responsibility about your thoughts and feelings and actions. So this is personal responsibility. Being the part of the society, being the citizen, being a social animal or a social individual, we need to be the responsible individual. So being a good citizen, following rules, abiding to the rules, because we are the role models for lots of people who are looking at us. So we always need to show good conduct and behavior in our real life. Participate in social activities and social events, and contributing our knowledge, contributing our time, contributing our efficiency for our social causes also is very much important. This is our social responsibility. We need to develop this kind of the personality. Being academicians, students, teachers, teaching fraternity, we all have academic responsibility, and that academic responsibility comes when we can focus upon trusting our own capability. Others has to trust us, others has to trust us based upon our skills and abilities. So ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಕೌಶಲಗಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯತೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇತರರಿಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ನಂಬಿಕೆಯುಕ್ತ ಕೌಶಲಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯತೆಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಸಾಧನೆಯತ್ತ ಮುನ್ನಡೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಹಾಗೂ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಉತ್ತಮವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Fairness, equal, no partiality towards any one person or any particular individuals or a group of individuals, or maybe towards a particular group or any kind of the community. So fairness and being fair to everyone is very important responsibility for the academician. Responsibility and courage goes hand in hand. So that with all these, if you inculcate, you will be the person who would be respected, and this comes by being honest in your own activities which you are pursuing. So all these are your academic responsibilities. Let's move on to another important responsibility. Being in the working atmosphere, we all have role responsibilities. For example, as a teacher, my job would be to impart the knowledge or to cater to the students in their academic achievement. So we need to understand our official responsibilities, whichever jobs you are performing, be it a teacher, be it an administrator, be it a mentor or a guide or a principal or any academic activity or a leader in any administrative officer. So you need to understand what is the demand of your role, what is your responsibility according to that role, what are the job descriptions which comes with that particular roles. So all these has to be understood, and we have to be proactive, means taking an initiative from our side and moving on further. And this makes sense only when we stick on to our time limit and target limits. So they are always bound to the goals. So we need to monitor ourselves, we need to keep on monitoring ourselves, because nobody else is going to come to monitor our. This can be done only when we are having a good cognitive abilities in problem solving. Problems are the part of the life. Without problems, we do not face life, so problems comes continuously. We should be a problem solver. We can solve problem only when we can think divergently and innovatively. So we should be solution oriented, not problem oriented or complaint oriented. In our life, in our official area or in our career, we can be successful only when we are problem solving mindset if we have. So let's focus upon that one. Very important when it comes to the administrative level or to the individual level is the functional autonomy. Functional autonomy means karyatmaka swayatate. An individual who can perform their own task independently without another person monitoring them or trying to guide them all through each and every step is the functional autonomy. Functional autonomy is very much important for the individual as well as for the institutions. So functional autonomy is required for the individual to perform independently, confidently, and very confidently they can exhibit their talents, their skills, potentialities and aptitudes. So at the individual level. At the workplace, it is important for implementation of the new policies, changes which can be enhancing and which can be towards the development orientation. So this is very much important from the viewpoint of the administrators, from the viewpoint of the academicians and also from the educational fraternity. If we move on further, all these things can be achieved only with a mindset of positive thinking. This we call it as optimism. In psychology, we have a separate branch of psychology which we call it as positive psychology, and this is the way which we have to look at towards anything. Optimism, it is if you think you can, yes you can. So the change can happen only when you think you can. So it is the thought that if you change the thought, your actions will change. If you change the thought, your feelings will change. So think positive and act positive. When this can happen only if we have a mindset of gratitude, being thankful for the present situations and for the opportunities given to you, and also being mindful about what you are doing, where you are doing, how you are doing, and savoring each and every moment of the life. Savoring is an aspect where we relish the moment, whether it be understanding, gaining knowledge, or enjoying a cup of coffee or anything. So be present in the moment. This we also call as mindfulness. So if we cultivate these kinds of the mindset, then obviously life would be more meaningful, life would be easier, and you will be more happier. And optimism is the way to solve any kind of the problem. It helps you to motivate yourself as well as others. All these make sense only when we know how to manage our emotions. Our emotions are the ones which shape up our life, which makes our life more meaningful. At the same time, it is the aspect of our awareness about our emotions, how better we are able to manage our emotions. If I want to put it in a simple words, emotional intelligence is that ability where you know when to express your emotions, where to express your emotions, how to express your emotions, how much to express your emotions. At the same time, when not to express your emotions, where not to express your emotions, how not to express your emotions, and also how much not to brood on your emotions, and how to express the positive emotions, how to enhance your positive emotions, how to regulate your emotions, and also how to control your negative emotions. These are the very core concepts which helps in the personality. And all these will make sense because these are all the requirements for the success in life, and thus success comes with mastering these traits, all the traits, and developing a mindset which is positive in nature, which will be very much useful for our psychological well-being. This can be achieved by removing all the distractions in our life and developing a focused attention towards success, goals, and towards major concepts in our life. To sum up or to wind it up, I would like to present a very interesting concept given by Eric Berne, the psychologist who puts forward this concept. Here, usually we all stay in this kind of the thought. If you understand, we all or majority of all the people are in this stage, I am not okay, you are not okay. This is a mindset where we complain about ourselves and also about others. We find fault with others, but this should not be so. But there are another group of people who always tell that I am not okay, you are okay. That means they are finding problem with themselves, but they think that others are good, others are happy. This is also not right. So then what should be the stage? But there are another group of the people who think that I am okay, you are not okay. They think that they are right, but all other people surrounding them are wrong. These are all negative serving thoughts or thought patterns. Then what should be the right one? The right one is the first one. I am okay, you are okay. That means I am also right, I am also good, I am also right in whatever I am doing. My personality is good and you are also okay. This is the perception which we should have about ourselves and towards others. If you have a clear perception, if you can look at the other people in the same way you look at yourself, if you can emphasize, appreciate yourself as well as others in the same manner, that is the positive outlook towards life. This way of looking towards oneself and others would lead you towards successful life. With this, to wind it up, I would like to give a small recap of all these things. Personality development is understanding about one's own self, identifying the personal qualities, traits and what makes it. If you want to develop these personality traits and qualities, emotional intelligence, optimism, positive thinking for your betterment of the life, then obviously you need to understand or make these 5 C's and 3 D's as a part of your life. And what are these 5 C's? The C's are clarity in what you want to become, a concise plan of what you want to become, and a consistency in doing the activities without leaving it in between. A compelling reason, a motivating factor which will make you do this one, that is changing your personality or developing your personality. And to do this one, the last C is very much important, commitment. Commitment to do for yourself as well as for others. These 5 C's are very much important, with the 3 D's which I am going to mention right now. A discipline in things in each and every day in whatever we do is the first step, and decision, the cognitive ability of taking the right decision at the right time, at the right moment and putting it into the action. This can be done only when you have a strong, unbinding determination to do that one. So I wish all of you to have these 5 C's and 3 D's in your daily life and for your goals which you have planned, and I wish all the best for the personality change which you want to see for yourself. Personality change does not happen in a 1 day or 2 day. It is an ongoing process. So you need to be committed with your passion, with your target, with your goals. The goals can be short-term goals, immediate goals or long-term goals. So wishing you all the best for the change, the positive change and an overall well-developed personality. Thank you.
Thank you so much.